Came in the bitch and I had it my way. Didn't ask for no favors or call off a hip. Got in my bag and never look back. Got up with the pole, I shoot better than Steph. Walk in the room and they know I'm a 8. Don't need me no niggas, they know how I step. Pray to your maker that all is forgiven. Somebody gon' die if I reach in that belt. Came in the bitch and I had it my way. Didn't ask for no favors or call off a hip. Got in my bag and never.
Hey man, say man, you ain't even gotta ask. You know what the fuck going on. You lock back into the Good Smoke podcast, man. And it's your boy, Guala Gang Smoke, back in the building with another episode sponsored by Guala Runners Music Group. So I definitely got to shout them out. And shout out my boy Smoker Boy Productions. Got a very special guest in the building today, man. I've been waiting on this interview. I'm gonna let this man introduce himself. Let him know who he is, let him know what he do. Bingo.
Man, thank you very much for having me on your platform. I'm a small fry, just a big guy that's a small fry, known as Caviar, part of the Caviar Club family. And I'm here just pretty much to bring a little bit of clarification and put some paint, where most can't, and just give information wherever I can, man. Yeah, and promote the brand a little bit and spread a little education.
Put some paint where most can't. That's player right there. So where you originally from?
Little small city, man, on the West Coast known as Richmond. Okay. We mostly known for Master P and Coach Carter. And normally, well, at least when I was growing up, Richmond, California was always one of the top 5 most violent cities in California. Okay. We routinely kind of flip-flopped with Oakland and Compton for the number 1 spot. And some years we was good enough to be number 5.
So how far is like Richmond from like Vallejo and?
We're directly across the bridge from, well, not directly, but we're pretty much a short bridge ride to Vallejo. Okay. So you can get from downtown Richmond to downtown Vallejo without traffic in less than 15 minutes. And the same thing you can get from downtown Richmond to downtown Oakland in about 15, 20, without traffic. So. Okay.
So did you grow up a Warriors fan?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely Warriors fan. Actually, funny story, real spill. Mitch Richmond. Okay. Was my favorite player as a kid because I remember my family take me to a Warriors game, and I was young and naive at the time. I seen dude, I thought he was putting on for the city. I said, oh shit, they got a dude from Richmond playing for the Warriors.
His last name.
Exactly, man. We one of them small cities that got a lot of pride. Like we got a lot of pride. So anytime somebody from Richmond doing something, so I thought dude was from Richmond playing for the Warriors. That's how I go. And, yeah, man, Mitch Richmond, shout out to him, man. He was my favorite player as a kid. And Tim Hardaway with the killer crossover.
Yeah, man, I was a Warriors fan back then when they had Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway, Latrell Sprewell. Everybody think I'm a Warriors fan now just because of Steph. I'm like, nah, I was there way back then.
Now, we've been had charismatic squads. Way back then. I mean, we may have not been champions, but we had teams that you could get into and want to really follow, from the We Believe squad. Shit, even when we was losing with Antoine Jameson and, Gilbert Arenas and what's my man that he was constantly winning the slam dunk contest? Jason Richardson.
Jason Richardson.
Yeah, we had players and squads that was worth checking out, even if we lose them,
Yeah, he was nasty. So how long did you stay in the Bay Area?
Man, so I moved out of the Bay Area around 2008, 2007, whenever around the time Obama got inaugurated.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved to Washington, D.C. That same year that Obama got inaugurated.
Okay.
I actually got to watch and partake in that.
Oh damn! So how was that?
Cold as fuck.
To see the first black president.
Man, it was too fucking cold, man. That's all I remember. It felt like it was 0 degrees, and I'm fresh from the West Coast. We ain't used to that level of cold. That whole weekend was a movie. There was so many people flooded in the city. It was a lot of euphoria in the air, a lot of jubilee just from people feeling like the whole world finna change, America about to change. And then, of course, the black folks, we was seeing something monumental, and for us, especially growing up listening to Tupac saying, I'll never live to see a black president, and then my grandmother remembering her tears and stuff like that to see that something like that took place. So that whole weekend was a magic moment, but that actual day was cold as hell, and anybody that was there would tell you that.
So speaking of your grandmother,
Yeah.
like how was your upbringing? You know, like growing up in the Bay. You know, how was your relationship with your mom and dad and
Okay.
things of that nature?
That's a great question. So actually, my mother passed away when I was 6 months.
Oh,
You
damn,
know,
I'm sorry to hear
so
that.
she passed away from lupus. Thank you. She passed away from lupus, and I was predominantly raised between my father and my father's grandmother.
Okay.
I mean, my father's mom, right? I have an older brother. We have different fathers, so when my mother passed away, we kind of like split, and he went with my mother's mom. That was his choice. That was his decision, you know. And then like I was with my father. My father raised me partly between Texas and California, but majority of my family is from either the Bay Area or small towns throughout Louisiana.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Shout out to Boot, most definitely. Okay, so seeing that you were raised by your father's mother, how was your relationship with your mother's mom?
Very, very good. You know what I'm saying? Like we in one of them cities where like I could walk to her house from, you know what I'm saying? I could walk between both my grandmother's house, particularly when I was younger until, folks started moving around. But like, I was raised more closely by my father's side of the family, but my father always pushed me to just like make sure you stay tapped in with your mother's side because that's your family too. And like, and my mother's mom is like, she is the neighborhood mother figure. You know, everybody
love her.
Yeah,
Right.
but like, and when I say the neighborhood, I really mean like the police chief, the business owners,
So she deep in the neighborhood.
to dudes that been on pimp documentaries, to like,
Oh, she passed the neighborhood. She in the city. The city love her.
yeah.
Okay.
And she's a really good baker, and a lot of stores used to buy her pies and stuff like that, and she was known for her gumbo too.
Okay.
And anybody that was from the hood could just pull up and eat with us and whatnot. So, I got to see everybody through her house, you know what I'm saying, from the D-boys to like professionals and stuff like that, because they always wanted her wisdom or her food and cooking and love,
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
So I'll take you there.
Hey man,
You
I'm
gonna
with
have
it.
some
Hey,
stories.
Hey, I'm with it, man. That's what's up, man. So, who would you say was the most influential person in your upbringing?
I could probably identify that to a few. My father being one, obviously. We are different in personality, but I take a lot of the same core mindset and skills. My father was a salesman. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't a big personality. He actually was such a great salesman because he was a man of like high character, and you wanted to trust and listen to him, and very spiritual, very spiritual, could break the Bible down left and right, but didn't dump you over the head with it.
Got you.
My grandmother also, like I said, with her being so well loved and well liked, like she was always aglow whenever she opened up her mouth, and she got a very childish spirit.
Gotcha.
Like she get excited for things, you know what I'm saying, and just has speaks to you so lovingly that if you was on the verge of suicide, you'd take the razor away and feel like living another day. That's how much she rubs people, you know what I'm saying? So then, and then of course, my father's mom, absolutely. I had some raw ass uncles, and then my brother, who in my younger years, I was always feeling like chasing after or trying to because my brother was.
Is he older?
Yeah, he had me by about 7 years.
Okay. So how many siblings do you have?
Just him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just him.
So I'm sure he's trying to do everything.
Yeah, like he to put it in a nutshell, man, like he had the loudest, shiniest car in the city. You know what I mean? And some of the freshest waves, and was always getting fit like Fabulous, and I always been chubby. So, you know what I'm saying? We like opposite, because I'm darker than him, I'm taller than him, and I'm chubbier.
Chubby
you know what I'm
niggas
saying?
been in for a while.
I mean, but not at that time. You know what I'm saying? Not at that time, man. And my brother was always fresh as fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? Like type of dude to wear like his Air Force 2-3 times and then go get another one.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get the shoe shine and the buff.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Like, let me, because like, hey man, I think I fit your size now. Let me get them. Like, brother throwing shit away, man. Too bad we wasn't the same size, man.
Man. So that's what. So it's safe to assume that your family is just very tight knit. You know, big on principle, big on value. So
Yeah.
I can assume they taught you some great things. So how was life in Texas coming from the Bay Area?
Okay, so I mostly did elementary in Texas.
Okay.
So, and what I did, like kindergarten, first grade, 4th, 5th, and 6th. I went to, so I was on the south side of Dallas and spent Fort Worth, Arlington. I can remember the first time I got called the word nigger. That was in Texas. I can remember, man, just
How did
Texas.
shit make you feel? Like, were you old enough to understand?
I did.
What it, okay.
But the conclusion of it, I did.
Gotcha.
You know, because I had my best friend at the time was a white kid. We would link up and, you know, go do young boy stuff, go adventure by the creek.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Adventures, ride bikes, all that type of stuff. And he got around his older brother one day, and his older brother just kept egging him to disrespect me. And you know, he switched up on me, but you know, I mean, shit, family, I guess, you know. And his brother used to call me the word, but I just, you know, it didn't really resonate.
Right, because racism probably didn't exist in the Bay Area growing up. I mean, I'm sure it was relevant, but not like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so Front Street with it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Plus, you know, I grew up in like in Richmond, which is a little bit more hood ghetto. Like,
Right.
our neighbors were poor Asians and Mexicans.
Gotcha. Okay.
They wanted to be niggas. You know what I'm saying?
So that's
like,
that was your demographic.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm from the Bay where like Asian folks talk more hood than, you know what I'm saying? I got Asian partners that be like, that say nigga all the time, and you know, ain't blood, you know what I'm saying? Woo, woo, woo. And they got mannerisms and speaking patterns just like the hoodest motherfucker you know. But yeah, Texas it was different.
So when you left Texas, you said you spent your elementary years in Texas. Where'd you end up going to after that?
Back to California.
Okay.
Yeah, I went
And that's
back.
where you did your high school and
That's did my high school and all of that. Yeah, I went back. So one thing I don't want to skip out, but I don't want to spend too much time on. I went to a magnet school.
Okay.
I tested very high in test scores in elementary school, and so they brought me to a magnet school. I guess the concept was you take kids from like in a struggling neighborhood, and then you bring bright or high scoring kids around them, and think by osmosis,
Right.
it's going. And it was Mannard H. Jackson. I believe he's from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Mannard H. Jackson Elementary School in Dallas, Texas, and like that was probably my favorite school until I got to college. That was my favorite school,
right.
Because it was black teachers, black principals, and that was the last time I remember young black boys competing to be the smartest in the class.
Gotcha.
Like competing to get the A, to be the motherfucker that raised their hand.
Oh, yeah.
Like so.
Association can bring assimilation.
Yeah. So that was pretty far for me. And then when I in that elementary school went to 6th grade. Now I know a lot of days 6th grade is middle school, but back then that was like 6th grade.
Okay.
So when I came back to Cali, and I went to the school that they called ESL, English as Second Language.
Okay.
Man, and it was like the windows was like boarded up, gated up, painted over. It really kind of looked like a prison from the outside, and it felt like it too. And I started to rebel a lot, man. I spent like half the school semester in SAC class, which is a suspension alternative. Like when they don't want to suspend you, but they can't keep you in a regular class.
Right.
So
is that like in-school suspension?
in school
Okay,
suspension.
got you. That's what we had.
Yeah, some little back room that you basically.
I stayed in that motherfucker.
Yeah, I stayed in it. And then it was my first time dealing with like a homosexual teacher, and we ran all over him, man. We ran all over him. I'm sorry, man. I'm pretty sure you were in therapy somewhere. Mr. Lovaco, I want to apologize. I'm a grown man now, and I was a child then, man, and I did what children do, man. But Miss LaBaca, I know we read over you, man. Hey, if you are able to reach out to me, I will help put some money on your therapy sessions that I know you did, because we were hell on you, man. We was very much hell on you. My apologies, man. Man to man, I'm sorry, Mr. LaBaca.
I was not fucking expecting that shit. Hey,
that's real.
Shout out, Mr. LaBaca. I hope you're doing fine in life. God damn.
I know he ain't teaching. I know he's doing something other than teaching. I know you ain't teaching no more. And if you is, you teaching a grown-up class or something. Whew, I know that experience was hell on you. Ain't that program where they let like people from other environments, if you come teach these little ghetto kids for a few years, we'll forgive your student loans? I'm pretty certain now that I'm grown that that's probably what brought him to that school, because he was not supposed to be in Richmond.
And you said that was what, 6th grade?
Oh man, that's 7.
7. Okay.
7th grade, yes sir.
So what age do you think you started to say fuck it and kind of start rebelling? Because I know we all got that stage.
Depends on what level of rebellion you mean. But I'm gonna say,
however deep you want to go.
The
floor is yours, my brother.
Once I start really falling out, now I always liked school, but I wouldn't always like the classroom, right? Because I was a person that participated in a lot of, like, I played baseball, I played football, I did speech and debate, I even dipped and dabbed in theater a little bit. I liked to do activities. I just didn't always care for the classroom. And then with the school, the shit that I was doing in 6th grade, they just started catching up to it by like 9th grade. So like, I was feeling like I was wasting. I'm like, I don't even need to take the book home or read this shit, because I'm already like this 6th grade, 5th grade shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't realize my magnet school was putting us on a path to move like that. And coming back to California, where the schools are a little bit more underfunded compared to Texas. And if you're not going to a school outside the ghetto, California public schools ain't really nothing to brag about. California got wonderful schools and colleges, but not if you're in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think that's a
probably universal with a lot of major cities.
A lot of major cities. So when did you end up transitioning down into Atlanta?
Okay, so that's many moons ago, man. I was in Washington D.C.
Okay,
and that's actually where Caviar Club got its start.
Okay,
I did my undergrad at a university known as Howard.
Okay,
shout out to Howard University. Go Bison. And
HBCU, right?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Not just an HBCU, but the HBCU.
The HBCU.
You know what I mean? The premium standard, the bar that everybody shoots for, especially if you're a male and female. Now, if you just want to be one gender, now it might be a school that might be for you. And there's some other notable colleges out there that deserve to be shouted out and get their props. Tuskegee is a wonderful school, and if I wanted to be number 2, that's where I would go. You know what I'm saying? That's a wonderful college.
I wanted to be number 2.
Great community, you know what I'm saying? And if, you know what I mean, sometimes your credit score can't put you in that Benz. You know what I'm saying? It just can afford a Honda Accord. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing wrong with it. Go ahead and drive that motherfucker, because Honda Accords last a long time.
They do.
So it's no shame in your game if Tuskegee is your name.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? But outside of college talking shit, man, DC, I spent more time in DC outside of college than I did in college. And DC, I really got to cut my teeth and my metal, man. So like, my brother used to tell me that you're supposed to campaign with the game. You know what I'm saying? And if you stay in your own little city, especially one like ours, it'll eat you up, especially if you got any type of lighter talent, because my brother had a very raw ass perspective on things and the credibility to really speak on it. That man got shot in the head and survived, right?
Damn. Shout out to your brother, man.
He said that the dudes in this city ain't nothing but nerds with guns and they bored, right? And we dudes like to play tough and play cool and all of that. And he said they ain't getting no money, they ain't nothing. That they ain't moving and shaking, they ain't nothing. And most dudes will shoot you and kill you just because it brings some excitement to their life and what they got going on. Right. And that's really their biggest glory, is being able to say that they out here hitting shit. You know what I'm saying? So he said really they ain't nothing but nerds, and they just bored and they got guns. And shooting is what excites them. You know what I'm saying? So when he put that in perspective, and he eventually got murdered, it made me kind of like really want to go. I always had a naturalness towards exploring, but then I was like, man, okay, it's really time to like, you know, put that stick in that hacky sack, go hit the road, really see. I know I got mouthpiece, I know I got intelligence, I know I got a little level of charisma, but will this work somewhere outside of here? The Bay is known for personality. And we always talk about how much game the Bay got and how much game, you know, this and that. Yeah, E40 and Mac Dre, and, you know, Too Short, they've been known to kind of tell our story to the world, right? And there's so many personalities like that inside the Bay. They really just representations of the everyday person there. So it really is E40s on the street. He ain't just a nigga that just made that up. It really is Too Shorts on the street. Right. It really is Mac Dre's on the street. You know what I'm saying? Spice Ones and you know MC8 and all that. It's really them on the street. Drew Downs and all that. So when you
Mac Dre too.
Amen. Hitting the road kind of shows not only what you can do, but then where you can take it to. Right. So me going to DC, and DC ain't no simple city, man. Right. DC is not to be taken lightly.
Oh no. I go down to DC.
And going to Howard and being around so many people from different places, you know, and then being in a city like DC and really cutting my teeth with my metal really kind of gave me the confidence that, yeah, the Bay raised me where I can go any fucking where. If you ever put a flag down and a stamp down and really just be able to hold it down, you know what I'm saying? I got character, I got game, I got insight, and I got, you know what I'm saying, a sense of purpose.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So, seeing that you've moved around into a lot of different major cities and
how my favorite one?
I was actually what is your favorite one?
For food, I'm gonna say New Orleans. I am carrying a little extra pounds, but for food, New Orleans, Chicago, hands down. Underrated, if you're taking a vacation and you only really got like $300 to your name, but you want to have a good ass time, check out Memphis or Nashville.
Memphis.
And Indianapolis.
Okay.
You know, if you want to go on a big 24 or 48 hour excursion adventure where you ain't gonna go to sleep and maybe you might pop some mollies to stay up and still get to it, it's gonna be between New York and Vegas. If you trying to remind yourself of how broke you are, but you really want to be inspired to get to it, Miami. You know what I'm saying? And then if you love blackness and just feeling like being black is not only regular, but black success is regular, because that's not the same all across the nation. DC, Atlanta, and low-key, it's gonna sound strange, because I know it's a lot of poverty there too, Detroit.
I can believe that, because some of the best independent films are coming out of Detroit right now. So I ain't even gonna cut you down. I definitely fuck with the D.
And if you want to see some of the weirdest gangsters in your life, LA.
Yeah.
LA. Because there's a lot of weirdos down there. But it's real niggas, don't disrespect to my niggas that's real down there. But y'all know there's a lot of weirdos down there. And some money I'm gonna say, well, they ain't from here, but yeah, it is. It's a lot of weirdos born and raised in LA, and they weird as fuck, just like the nigga that took out Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of weirdos down there. And then at the same time, LA still is a lovely place that you gotta go and you gotta ride around.
So what would you say in your life may have been the darkest point in your life that may have been your turning point to where you got on the path to where that you're on now?
I've been homeless in DC.
Okay.
Right? And then I've been homeless in Atlanta. And I actually moved to Atlanta fresh out of prison. Right? And so I would say, like, hitting both of them points really kind of tests character when, you know, especially when you're not living around your family support system. Right. And that's what scares most people from not leaving where they at. You know, they don't want to be responsible for themselves. You know, and when you somewhere where you You can't just pull up on moms, you can't just pull up on grandmas, you can't just go pull up on a cousin couch, you know what I'm saying? Because you really don't know nobody and ain't nobody around her. And the folks that you do know, you don't want to burden them that much,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of suffer in silence or get help where you can, but try not to over lean on help because you don't want to seem like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've experienced that both here in Atlanta and in DC, and then been in the prison walls in Baltimore where like, you know, I was living in DC. I ain't even know niggas in Baltimore. Right. I've been doing prison in around nothing but two and you and all that shit.
Two. Yeah, it's wild in Baltimore. I ain't even gonna lie. So how long were you away, and did you see any type of programs inside of the system that kind of helped you figure out what you wanted to do when you get out?
Nah, not really at all. I mean, I wasn't in there a long time. I had like a 3-year sentence, and actually only ended up doing like a year and a half. So, and most of it was at a camp now. But the camp that I was at, unfortunately, was a converted. It was formerly a max that are like a semi-max. Now they converted because they had like different facilities in the same little area. So it was 3 prisons in one complex, right? Okay. For different levels, and the one that was supposed to be a camp, because you know camp's supposed to be for people that got short time and don't be on their way out. You can get access to jobs. And, you know, we supposed to be able to damn near be up all as long as we ain't fighting and shit. We supposed to be able to run the TV all day, and you know what I'm saying? Nope, this one was like
set up like that. Man,
it wasn't set up like that. Everything was locked in. You got to get, you know, boat locked in and all of that. Like, it was not what other people think when they get a camp experience. And then even before I got processed there, I was in other little, you know, little situations and whatnot. But not really no programs, man. It felt like a big ass daycare. It just did, man. It felt like I was in like a retirement home, sort of like you just wake up, go eat, and then you just waiting on the next time to go eat. Right. You know, we watching the TV. A group of niggas watch TV in one room. Motherfuckers arguing over dumb shit, bragging over shit they never did. You know, you around. One thing prison do is it brings you around bummy niggas that you normally wouldn't even like pay attention to or have access to on outside because I would have been kept it moving. Right. Like it brings them down. They your neighbor. You know what I'm saying? They your next door bunk mate or some shit. So like I was around some geniuses too. But man, it just brought you around like a lot of youngsters and a lot of like just bummy niggas, like niggas that you know. I see why you in here, and you gonna keep coming here. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not even trying to not be here. Like that's the thing. You're not even trying to not be here. You just this is you. Like this is what you do. Okay, cool, man. All right, well, I guess I see you next lifetime because it ain't gonna be here. I ain't even gonna be in the state, nigga. Once this shit over with, I'm gone.
Right? Out of here. So, how did you get involved with Caviar Club? And like, when did you like find your love for cannabis?
Okay. I've been participating in cannabis since high school. Okay. It's always been something that I'm familiar with, and been familiar with a lot of people who had levels of success and whatnot with it. I worked for a nonprofit in DC that had me doing a lot of street fundraising. Okay. So, you know, if you ever been stopped by somebody, hey, how you doing? You have a quick moment for this, you know, and been engaged with a 5-step conversation to donate $20, $30 a month for some kid that you probably never gonna meet, you know, that was me, you know what I'm saying? And I learned a lot doing that on the street as far as in how to engage with people and understanding what they want. You know, because nobody steps out of their bed saying, damn, I really wish I could donate $300 a year to a child over in Indonesia today. Right. You know what I'm saying? So when you got a product that people are not thinking about or didn't leave their house desiring, and you can be able to hand over a stranger your credit card and your social security information, right? If you can do that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I was able to do that for years. But then the time came around when we were supposed to grow and have our own offices, and in-office politics start playing out, and I didn't like the way that some of my uplink was getting treated, and they got let go, and then I seen the writing on the wall, so I left, and I happened to go back home for a period of time, and seeing that they were offering courses at this college called Amsterdam University.
Okay.
Right? So I said, this is the time to kind of pivot. I've been knew about this, I got major stories about driving 3, 4, 5 hours through mountains and valleys and shit, picking up packs and having to, keep the smell down and all of that stuff. The fear you have driving on mountain streets at late night, you know what I'm saying? Not only from getting pulled over, but just from actually the car veering over the side of a mountain. I've been got them stories. But as far as being able to understand this from like a professional level, because I did go to one of the most prestigious universities that black men can go to. And so I had to cut my metal learning that, I may have came from this, but I also had to learn to be bougie. I had to learn to be bougie and learn to be around like people who are more socially acclimated. You know what I'm saying? So it would be a waste if I just went back and did it the same way everybody else was doing it that I seen do it. So I went back to Amsterdam University. They was doing some like workshops. I took them all. And then I started, once I did that, I kind of finessed my way to working with a dispensary in DC and learning the ins and outs.
Gotcha.
So from a professional level. And
so that was your way in?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay.
So I worked at a dispensary over on those y'all that know DC, North Capitol. You know what I'm saying? I used to work over there in North Capitol, P Street, you know what I'm saying? And no, it's Q Street, but yeah, right over on North Cap. And from there, started.
Just in case you get thirsty again, I'm moving loose.
Oh, yeah, man. So shout out to Hennessy, man. Shout out to Hennessy. From there, man, I just had the desire. I started an edible service.
Okay.
Because DC is a little bit more of a discreet town. Atlanta's an entrepreneur city. I feel like people come here to grow as an artist, or as a start their own business, or be a social media, you can be a blogger, a performer, and shit like that. And DC, people are getting rich off of either government jobs or professionalism. They're used to being high-level earners, six-figure jobs, right? And whether that's for the government or the law.
Which one makes sense with seeing that the
nation's capital, right?
The capital, yeah. Okay.
So, long story short, the way you kind of moved there before it got legalized is you have to be direct but indirect. So, I'm not gonna ask you, I'm not gonna be one of the dudes on at the gasoline station. I got gas. Right. Say, hey man, you smoke? Nah. You just be like, I used to step it from an indirect perspective. So I had brownies, cupcakes, treats like that, and I'd ask a person, hey, what bar are you stepping out to tonight? You know what I'm saying? And then they said, so I asked about their favorite drink, and they'd be like, so all you do is drink? Because I have a friend of mine, man, he made some awesome brownies. I'm probably gonna fuck around with them later. And I don't ask them do they want some, but I throw that out like you can get it, you know what I'm saying?
Out there. Yeah.
And then of course
tossing it out there.
Just tossing it out there, being direct but indirect, and then you notice by a person's reaction, oh, I don't smoke, you know what I'm saying? And then the ones that get curious, I might have something there. And then, depending on the level of the conversation, whether I leave it at just the brownies or let them know that there's other options available to them as well, that was a very successful method for me in DC.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have to ask you, because the way that I came about your page was by a particular strain called Diamond Snowball.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably by far the craziest weed. I think it's the craziest weed I think I've seen. So can you kind of educate the people on what Diamond Snowball is? Because there is a version, or
no, I'm gonna go through all that. I love to talk about it.
Because they have, I guess it's called ice caps.
You got snow cap, ice cap, powder dunk. You got donuts. Yeah.
Right.
So I didn't invent the wheel. I want to throw that out there real quick. I did not invent the wheel with this shit. I was introduced to it. And even when I got introduced to it, I was already privy of it being kind of around and popularized in the Bay Area. Now, not to sound arrogant, but most people outside of California view LA as like the god of weed, right?
I think the best weed is in the Bay.
Well, that's what I'm getting to, and that's an absolute fact. But people don't know that, and maybe I might be, those who know. LA dresses everything up and put lights and stars and glitter on everything, right? And everything in life. Fashion is Hollywood. Yeah. So LA knows how to make shit presentable. The Bay is about substance as a culture. So most of the best growers are from up Northern California. But most of the tourists come to Southern California. So LA gets a lot of their weed from up north. And they weed ideas. But they put the packaging and the presentation and the lights and the song and the dance to it, you know what I'm saying? To where now it's bigger than California. Now, I was getting that to say that this was actually my second run with a what do we call them? Like Moon Rock. Okay. Caviar actually came from Caviar Club. The name was developed from a strand called Caviar Gold. Okay. So Caviar Gold was first introduced to DC by Caviar Club, right? We met the gentleman who started the brand. He wasn't too charismatic, and he was competing against Corrupt and that little marketing team, right? With Moon Rock. Okay. And Caviar Gold had a very similar product. Smoked just as good, maybe even better from a taste perspective, but they didn't have the marketing team behind it. So we asked if they were already on the East Coast. They said no. So I know for certain, because I dealt with the person who funded and started it, right, that they never had anybody that was circulating it around the East Coast and bringing it to DC. And I knew exactly where to take it, because DC is like a let me stunt in front of the club, so I took it straight to the club spots, the hot spots. The dudes who ain't afraid to pop bottles, right? Took it to the club. I didn't even bring it to the street. Took it to the club, man. 100 to 3.5.
Damn.
So this is my second run around with something that had that level of potential, and you know, I asked when I got introduced. I asked if we could have exclusivity with this market. Where were they dealing with people already? And if we could have exclusivity with your brand, because I already see what it can do here. Right. And like I said, I didn't invent the wheel. Neither did Diamond Snowball as a record stable, live group and all that. They didn't invent the wheel, but it was something that was already circulating in the Bay. But man, I'll be damned if I know how to drive that motherfucker. Because like I said, when you can stop somebody on the street and have them donate $30 a month to a child in Indonesia, right, that they never gonna meet, you know what I'm saying? And have them hand over their credit card and their social security information to a motherfucker they just met 10 minutes ago. You think I can't sell some white weed?
This is true. So basically you're like a salesman for the dispensary, or what would you consider your role as?
Brand ambassador.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm a brand ambassador because, you know, when I represent outside in public, I make sure that I educate people behind things. I make sure that I build value in it, and that I make it something that's not only just desirable, but also I find the target audience that it's supposed to get to, gotcha, which is very important. Gotcha. So I'm not no salesman. I'm bigger than that. I'm a brand ambassador.
Got you. Yeah. Okay. I like the way you put that. I just want to make sure. I like to get people titles and shit right.
Absolutely.
So how do you feel about the snow capsules and everything else that's kind of coming after the Diamond Snowball?
Whether they came before or came after, the reason I like Diamond Snowball as a company is because I know that they don't cut corners.
Gotcha.
And they actually use real diamonds. Now, I've observed some other companies, right? How can I put this without putting nobody out there? Like, you just gotta know that diamonds is expensive. The actual THC diamonds, right, are pretty expensive. Like, that's something that runs anywhere from, depending on the time of the season, 4 to 5 bands a kilo.
Shit.
but people don't know the numbers until, you know what I'm saying? But like when you've been around, you actually know like there's 4 or 5 bands for just a kilo of diamonds, and that's what goes on it, right? We're not talking about the hash oil, we're not talking about the indoor grows and stuff like that. We're just talking about just one ingredient of the recipe. So,
talking about kilos. I go back to my old life. I started thinking like, my bad. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
It's all good, man. Listen, I reminisce. You, my guy. Yeah, I recognize the quality that they were putting out, and if I'm going to ambassador something, I want to make sure that one, you can be consistent because I'm gonna be consistent, and two, it's got to have a level of quality because that's what I represent. Like Caviar Club not being a sausage club.
Okay.
You know, dead ass. Like, I want to make sure that people are not only getting premium, but as good weed, good price. You know, good product, good presentation. Gotcha. You know, good weed, good price, good product, good presentation. That's something that we deeply believe in at the very core of everything we do. And then, of course, service. Like, I'm not just gonna stand there with a dumbass look on my face, right? And expect you to just walk up and hand me a bunch of money. I want to respect the fact that you worked hard for your shit. And so if you got a question to ask me about something, I should be able to at least give you the best information that I can. Gotcha. Not because I'm bullshit and made it up, but because I took the time to look it up. Gotcha. You know, I'm not even the biggest smoker in my crew. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be damned if I'm going to let a person come up to me and engage with me over one of my things to offer, and I don't give them solid information.
Gotcha.
You know?
Did you, how many different vendors were at the smoke battle?
I'd say about 30.
About 30?
Yeah.
Okay. So talk to me about the award that you won at the smoke battle, and
I didn't win it, we won it.
well, you the brand won it.
Yeah.
How did that feel, and what was the exact award that you guys won?
We were claimed to be the best tasting brand there. Okay. Now, there's many brands that were there that I know got some good ass tasting shit, so I don't know who lied and put us on the ballot, but you know, somehow.
Good, though.
Crazy. I know it don't taste bad, but there was a lot of other brands there that could have easily took that award from us, you know. But the fact that we did get enough votes to qualify to win it, man, I want to say thank to anybody who voted us and anybody that participated and felt like y'all should have won. Man, better luck next year because we're gonna do it again.
That part.
The winning that award, we were obviously, you know, we competitive in certain ways, so we were trying to go for number one. And we had thought that the best way to go for it was to bring, like, because I always believe in the spectrum, because everybody's different. Right. I think I asked you this, I said, are you an indica or sativa guy? You said, man, I'm a whatever the fuck smoking good guy.
Yeah.
And that's amazing, but also I understand that some people really do have a preference. And I found that indicas move really well, but sativas help people stay.
Gotcha.
Because sativa is not so easily and readily available on the day-to-day for most people who aren't visiting dispensaries.
Okay.
So if you don't have dispensary access, then most people who actually want that as a product experience, they're not getting it if they're just going to the I got gas type person.
See, I appreciate the education because when you asked me that, I was like, shit, I could get high. Whatever. I'm just a get high type of nigga, whatever. But now that you break it down, I
So let me break it down even further. Let me ask you a question. So when you get off work, you know, when you typically smoke, do you like to get off work and feel relaxed and chilled out? Or are you the type of person you like to go to work and feel elevated and lifted, and at the same time not too drowsy to where it slows you down to commit to what you're doing?
Yeah, I like to feel elevated and lifted.
Okay, and are you more of like a creative-minded person, like somebody who likes to sit and draw and think a lot, and read, like be active?
I'm a writer.
Okay, you're a writer. Okay, absolutely.
Got a little script in the making.
You know what? I don't think that this product is probably for you. Although I'm not going to stop you from trying it, you absolutely should. Okay. But I'm going to recommend this right here, right? That's our Purple Rosé. You can go ahead and open it up, smell it, man. It's a great product. Show it to the people. The reason is that actually has a bloodline lineage with a strain called Tropicana Cookies, right? Which is one of the more popular sativas that's available on the market. That is a pure sativa. So you shouldn't worry about feeling too sleepy, too drowsy.
Okay.
But you're gonna be high. It's gonna hit you.
Right.
But that's perfect for a creative mind.
Right. Now I gotta ask you because this is the Good Smoke podcast, and this is it's just raw. So you made a comment before we started. You said people think you may be a one-hit wonder.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You want to elaborate on that and elaborate on what's on the table and what we got going on.
Well, there's some shit I found on the street, man. You know what I mean? It's something I just want to recycle, man. You know, I'm not in possession of anything illegal. You know what I'm saying? But plus, these are props.
These are all props.
Just always got to let that be known that everything on here is props.
Yeah,
and we're just doing this for entertainment value, man.
Yeah.
I shoot music videos. With that being said, man, just the one-hit wonder kind of feeling or outlook is because it can easily be mistaken. It can easily be mistaken when you have something that's become the most popular and most copycatted product ever since we introduced it to the Atlanta market in March. Right. And the very first large-scale event I've ever done, but prior to then, Caviar Club has always been at like open mics and like private parties and like garage parties and stuff like that. So though we have done bigger events in DC, right? But coming into the Atlanta market, it was like just kind of getting where we fit in, and that's where we fit.
Right.
Shout out to Gas House, right?
Shout out Gas House.
They're probably the most well known. And between them and Shark Lotto, I respect both of them very highly. That's why I say I'm a small fry guy. But like Gas House and Shark Lotto, they've been putting on for the Atlanta culture and representing and making this city look like something instead of nothing to everybody on the outside. So them two right there set a high standard. Gas House put together the Sesh in conjunction with a lot of other people, but the Sesh, ATL, doing a week of 420. So that was like really our coming out type party, you know what I'm saying, our draft day. So like a lot of people got exposed to Caviar Club during that day, right? And it was easy when you there with a bag full of white weed and nobody, maybe some people, but majority of people who attended that day had never seen anything like that. Okay. So no matter how small we were and how much underdeveloped our table looked, amateurish our table looked in comparison to people who had like $5,000.
It was gonna draw attention.
We ain't had that. We ain't had nothing that looked like that. We had a table that looked like this right here with a tablecloth over it. You know what I'm saying? And a couple little signs that we printed up that said Caviar Club on it. You know what I mean? Gotcha. So like, it can be easy to walk past a table like that when you see somebody who look like they got official, real deal tissue backing and whatnot. And a lot of them do. But then when you got a bag full of white weed and a mouthful of game and a lot of charisma that people just want to stand next to, you know what I'm saying? Boom, hey, miss, you drop something right there. It's a handshake, pick it up, come on over. Did you see this before? You ain't seen this here. Let me put it in your hand. Walk over, go talk to the next person while leaving the weed with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't expecting somebody to just leave weed in your hand. So what you gonna do? Run off or go walk it back? You know what I'm saying?
This is true.
While I'm talking to the next person, they see the crowd forming because I know how to bring people together, and I know most people like to stare at crowds. If you see 3 people start to form, then 5 people come over. And once 5 people come to 3, that's 8. Now everybody wondering why it's 8 motherfuckers at this amateur ass table. So, like I said, I think ahead like that. And because I'm not afraid to stand in front of this table instead of behind it and engage with people directly and put a smile on their face and make them feel happy and laugh and share my gift and my love that I've been given to and give it to them, you know what I'm saying? It was easy. But it's been the most copycatted, most duplicated. But a lot of people think we've only grown because of the strand, like Diamond Snowball. Or they see us at a event where it's like 20 other vendors,
right? And
it can be easily misled because we got a glowing light structure around the Diamond Snowball. That's the only thing that we have to offer.
Right.
It's not true.
Yeah, this is very true. This is very true. So what you got? What you got today? I see you got your gold
table full of Reggie. A whole lot of Reggie going on around here, man. Yeah. It depends on what level you like to smoke, and I believe in grabbing the best at every level. So I'm not one of the people like, oh man, ain't no outdoor, ain't no light depths, ain't no greenhouse. No, it's a whole lot of outdoor going on, a whole lot of light depth going on, a whole lot of, you know what I'm saying, greenhouse going on. But it's also given. It's given at that level too, financially. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to confuse a person to get some outdoor like this Pluto Kush. A lot of people have heard of Pluto Kush and they smoke high-end Pluto Kush. Well, one of the best organic black farms I know on the West Coast knows how to grow Pluto Kush outside. And that shit tastes really good. And no, it's not hitting like the $100 Pluto Kush you grab, but that shit hitting way harder than anything you grabbing for 25.
Damn.
Anything.
Damn. Okay.
And it's out there.
Okay. So, are you more of a sativa or
Sativa, absolutely.
Sativa.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What would you say your favorite strain is?
Mochi,
Mochi.
Tropicana, and as of right now, King Tut.
King Tut. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Hell yeah. Damn. Well, shit, man. Hey, well, you know what, man? I ain't even gonna lie, man. I've been waiting. Since I met you, I've been waiting to have this sit down with you so you can just come sit down and just chop it up with me, man. I definitely appreciate you just coming through, man, just educating us on your brand or the brand of Caviar Club, where it started and how you got into it, and just some of these strains. You said this is what, purple?
Purple Rose.
Purple Rose.
Pure Sativa. Pure Sativa.
Purple Rose. Yeah.
What's the phenos on those snowballs?
By phenos, you mean like the genetics? Or okay, so I can tell you that typically, me knowing them directly, typically it's always a hybrid strain that's used, and it has changed in the seasons that I've dealt with them. The process is always the same: hash oil and THC diamonds, and the quality of the ingredients. But yeah, I've seen it used with jealousy, used with I want to say truffle and jealousy, white truffles, which is like a white runts truffle blend, and I'm trying to remember which one was a while back when during the summer, but yeah, probably a gelato or something like that. But yeah, it's always hybrid for the purpose of whenever you doctor something up like that, you don't want to overwhelm and scare away people with having them like, oh, I smoked the 2 hits and I went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Then you feel like, oh, I spent all that money and all I keep getting is comas. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, before I wrap up, I want to ask you, because the last time I saw you, you gave me a pre-roll that was a goji berry.
Yep, goji berry.
You said something about the loose leaf, so
yeah.
Talk to me, like, educate the people on the goji berry, because that was a real smooth.
Yeah. I want to shout out two particular brands that have been pushing really heavy to getting like our people away from so strongly on tobacco-based products, right?
Gotcha.
Well, one is tobacco-based, it's Solo Leafs, right? Solo Leafs has been hitting the ground running. They've been working hard as a mud, man. Solo Leafs are probably one of the best tasting, non-synthetic tastes. And plus, the leaf itself is thick. It's not paper thin. Okay. It holds up with all the major brands, and I actually think it surpasses many of them. A Solo Leaf, if you like to roll tobacco leaves, right? So if you like loose leaves, you'll also like Solo Leaf. Okay. Now, if you're willing to give a try to something, don't panic, it's organic. I'm gonna go with Royal Blunts. Royal Blunts makes a lot of wraps and cones. From rose petal to goji berry, which is the actual fruit, right? And they use the fruit byproduct. It burns super slow.
It does.
Has a very nice taste to it, and it's natural and a little healthier on you if you're gonna be smoking every day long term. Now we know smoking, it ain't a such thing as healthy smoking,
right,
but it reduces the amount of damage you do if you were smoking swishers and backwoods and
right. Okay, gotcha. So can you tell the people where they can find you at?
Man, shit, you can find me wherever the wild things are, man. Caviar Club.atl. Find us at anywhere the smoke battle is doing something. You know, continue to support the smoke battle, continue to support DUI, continue to support I Am Keno. You know, I believe there's a Stoner Bowl the day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'll be there.
In addition, the Smoke Battle is doing a all you can smoke event later this month.
Like the smoke party, I'll be there.
20th, I believe, 19th, the 19th. And so we'll be there. And then in addition, because our target audience is 30 to 55, we'll continue to be at those black tie fairs and those private events with a guest list that where we'll be the only person in the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you, man, for coming through, sitting down, man, just chopping it up with me. I appreciate y'all for tapping into the Good Smoke Podcast, man. We will be back next week, same time, same place. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, man, Facebook, all that good shit. Drop some comments, like, comment, subscribe, man. We out of here, man. Everybody be safe, be blessed.
One more shout out.
Got one more?
If you have a woman that you like and you like to take pictures with her in public, or you prefer your woman to have a 700 or better credit score, her own car, her own place to stay, and she ain't just trying to hang out the window with her ratchet ass friends, come to Smoke and Vibe at Apache.
Okay.
Come to Smoke and Vibe at Apache on the 19th. And then again, you can double back around to Slow Drag, which is the greatest 70s themed party, blue light party, where you're gonna be dancing to all old school R&B, and at the same time, they're gonna be spinning that motherfucker like it's 1999. Come to Slow Drag, look up slowdrag.co, slowdrag.co. We'll be at those events as well, in addition to the Smoke Battle, and in addition to the Stoner Bone. See us there, Caviar Club, step the weed game up, don't slow up, be with us. Amen.